Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on weekend cruises and short cruises all the time. And I am very excited to be here on a 7-night voyage on the MSC Grandiosa. Now, aside from the fact that it is a 7-night voyage, which I've not done in about 2 years and 40 cruises, I'm also on a brand new ship and a new ship class with MSC. So the MSC Grandiosa is part of the MSC Meraviglia class. And I've only heard great things about this class of ship. You all have loved her. And so I was really excited. I was like, I'm even going to go up to Port Canaveral to board this ship so that I can see what a Meraviglia class of ship is like. And I'll be honest with you, when I first got here, I was kind of like, it's taken me a little while to warm up to this ship. Like, I kept comparing her to the Sea Class that I've been on. So down here in Florida, we've had the Seaside, Seashore, Sea View for quite some time. And so I've gone on a lot of those sailings. And I kept finding myself comparing the Meraviglia class Grandiosa to the Sea Class of ships. And honestly, I was like, I think I like the Sea Class better. If anything, I was also saying, to be sure, the Sea Class was a newer class of ship because I can see all these improvements that they've made from the Meraviglia class. And I quickly did some research and learned that that was not the case. And so I wanted to share with you all what I found in my research, why these two ships are, they're built at the same exact time. Why are they so wildly different? And which one's going to be a great fit for you? With that, let's compare these two classes and see why they are so different. So again, shocking to me, they both started construction in 2017. So it was very intentional that they're different because they were literally built at the same exact time. There wasn't one before the other like I was thinking there might be. But the biggest difference that you're going to find is they were both built in different shipyards. Similar to how Airbus and Boeing make different planes, but they put a little bit different angle on it. You can see that through these shipbuilders. And so I'm going to butcher the names on this, but the Meraviglia class was built in Chantiers de Atlantique in France. And then the Sea Class was built in the Fincantieri in Italy shipyard. And so simply because of the different shipbuilders that did this, they had different kind of floor plans and ideas of what they wanted to build from. The biggest thing here that you're going to find is they were intentionally built for different climates. The Meraviglia class, for instance, was built with an indoor resort style vibe. So they wanted to make this for cooler or cold weather locations that you may be cruising. Think Alaska, maybe Norway, or maybe if there's a cold front that comes down here to Florida, it might be a good, spot to be on. But it is more of a traditional style ship. Reminds me of the Voyager and Freedom class ships, which were also built in this shipyard with that main promenade down the middle. And so there's a lot of indoor space with the solarium, with the buffets. There's not a ton of outdoor space other than the main pool and the Horizons pool that you can find out back. The Sea Class, on the other hand, is built for the sun. It is intentional that it is going to be a sun chaser and probably spend most of her time down here in the Caribbean or in the Mediterranean in the summer months. So she is taking the indoors, everything that's indoors, and trying to push it to the outside. That is the key thing that they are doing here. Because of that, they're going to have a waterfront boardwalk as well that's going to completely encircle the ship. So you can walk around feeling like you are always right there beside of the water, and I love that vibe. I also don't know of another ship class that the shipyard may have built for a different cruise line that even comes close to replicating this. If you know of anything, let me know down in the comments. I would love to probably go on that ship and check it out. So let's talk about what actually matters to us cruisers. So when you go on a cruise, at least when I go on a cruise, I'm looking for certain things. And so the reason that I kind of gravitate towards the Sea Class more is, first of all, because of this inside-out concept. They took everything that was on the inside and said, how can we push it to the outside? This includes hallways, for instance. So if you are walking on a Sea Class, you're going to see most of the hallways are going to be on the outskirts, putting you close to the windows, putting you close to the water. You're going to have that waterfront boardwalk that we talked about. It has some really great features where you feel like you are part of the water. The exact opposite is true for the Meraviglia class that stays consistent with other cruise ships and has everything inside. So you're going to have the main promenade. That is going to be your indoor kind of function area. They do try with the massive LED screen to make it feel like you are outdoors, but it is still very much so an indoor ship. So let's talk about the pool deck and design, because I think that this is one of the defining moments for the Sea Class ship. Their pool decks, they took a totally different approach to it. Their main pool, unlike most ships, they put it in the middle, like the Meraviglia class did, and they have moved it all the way to the aft section of the ship. This does a few different things. Number one, it makes it seem open and exposed. You don't feel like you are inside a cruise ship, but you feel like you're more sitting poolside at a resort and the beach is right on the other side of that rail. I love this feeling, how open it is. It's also a great spot to host a lot of their events, so your white night, your tropical nights, all of that is going to happen back here as well. I think these two ships also intentionally give off a very different vibe. Now, if I'm looking at the Meraviglia class, it's going to come across like a European resort. There's going to be a lot of indoor spaces. It's going to be a lot of architecture from Italy, from the European countries that you're going to see on board. If you are looking at a Sea Class ship, you're going to see the exact opposite of this. You're going to see South Beach come to life as a cruise ship. So you're going to have that boardwalk that I keep mentioning because I love it so much, but you're going to have more of a South Beach day club vibe that is going to be going on here, where everything is kind of outside in the sun is where you're going to be enjoying yourself and celebrating the most. So we talked about the climate that the ships were built for. Now let's talk about kind of the cruise passenger profile that they may have also been built for. The Meraviglia class is going to be one for people who appreciate the shade and not necessarily the sun. You're going to have sun options, but they're going to give you tons of shade that you can go and sit in. It's also going to be for those people that just like to be more indoors and not in the heat all the time. If you appreciate air conditioning, this is also a great spot for you. And if you really appreciate European resort style vacations, you're going to be in the right spot. On the other side, if you look at the Sea Class, you're going to love being in the sun and want the shade every now and again. It's going to flip the script on that for you. And then, you'd like to be it's for the person who wants to be outside. They want to be getting their fresh air. They want to be feeling the wind in their hair. That's who this is built for. And you have more of an appetite, or you gravitate more towards a South Beach style resort and that Art Deco kind of vibe that's going to come with it. All right, so let's talk about why I love the MSC Sea Class so much, especially compared to the Meraviglia class of ships. And the first is just going to be, I love outdoor space. And the Sea Class does a fantastic job of keeping me outside, putting me outside, and letting me stay there for a long period of time in different kind of environments. It is definitely sun focused, but there's plenty of shade options to go around as well. The main place that I see this is in the waterfront boardwalk that I continue to mention. This is absolutely hands down my favorite piece to a Sea Class ship. When I go to have breakfast, lunch, dinner in the buffet, I want to sit outside. If I can be outside dining, that's what I want to do. And so on a Sea Class, there are tons of chairs. The entire buffet on both sides has double seating with an aisle that you can sit at. Even if people go and hang out for a long period of time, there's still plenty of tables and chairs outside. Here on the Meraviglia, I bet you in the back of the buffet, there's probably only 12 tables, and people camp out there all day long. There are tables towards the pool or in the pool area, but to me that's more away from the buffet, and honestly they fill up just as quickly. I also found myself missing the atrium on a Sea Class ship. So a Sea Class ship has this amazing atrium that is 3 stories long. It's got mirrors and glass to make it seem even larger than that. But there's such a vibe and an energy when you're able to look down, watch, and they bring all 3 floors together. Here on board the Grandiosa, a Meraviglia class, you've got the main promenade, which is beautiful in its own. It's the Grandiosa Galleria, which is a massive LCD screen. I think it's almost 300 feet long, LED screen that is, and it is absolutely stunning and breathtaking. But the energy and the vibe changes when you elongate it like that versus bringing everybody together and going up. To me, it changes the vibe of it. I found myself missing being part of the atrium and the events that we have on the Sea Class. And let's talk about the theater's design as well. Here on a Meraviglia class, there is only one entrance into the main theater. So all 1,300 people, I think it fits, go and come through the same set of doors. There's 2 sets of doors. There's on each side. One side's going to be for everybody to line up. One side's going to be for everybody to come out. And it takes a while. The lines get long. It takes ages to get out, it feels like, because that is the only entrance. It's also not accessible. If I was to go over to a Sea Class, you're going to have seating on the top level, or you're going to have the main entrance on the top level, but you also can come in at the bottom. So if you're somebody that is in a mobility device, you have trouble walking, you can walk around and come in by the front of the stage and have plenty of seats there for your mobility devices, and you don't have to walk on the stairs. The Meraviglia class will force you to walk on stairs if you want to have an actual seat. I think just having these 2 extra entrances and exits, I can't get my words out, really help with the flow of people, as well as just making it more accessible to a larger audience. And this one's gonna be me being a little bit on the picky side, but it is a true story. So the Meraviglia class of ship, the gym, is extremely small. For the number of people that they have on here, it is really lacking, and I'm kind of surprised by that. Over on the Sea Class, the gym is expansive. Like, there's plenty of room to move around. It's got plenty of equipment. I love working out on a Sea Class. It is one of my favorite gyms at sea. Here on the Meraviglia class, it's also in a really weird spot. People are walking by, like literally staring at you working out, because you're right there on deck 16 in the middle of the ship where people walk by all the time. I just find it super awkward. I miss having on the Sea Class, the gym that is expansive. It's right there by the spa as well, so if you want to jump into the thermal spa afterwards, you can do that. And it's also got great views out of the side of the ship. I just miss having some of that free space and more of the equipment to work out. Specialty restaurants on Meraviglia class also are super weird to me, because yes, they have them here. They've got indoor spaces that you can eat at, or like a proper restaurant, but half of the seating is in the hallway. You have people walking by you the entire night. I did eat at Kato Sushi last night, which was super good, by the way. But people are constantly walking by you. They're bumping into you. They're having conversations. It's just really weird. Sushi to me is more casual, so I think it was fine. Butcher's Cut was, just a few steps away. I think that that's more of a proper restaurant, and I just see it being super awkward that they do that. Sea Class, on the other hand, has their own section for specialty restaurants, which I think is super great. It's very convenient for the yacht club folks. But it puts them all in one spot. So it's like a central hub, and it makes it feel more elegant, more elevated, because you do have this special space that is just specialty, and it's not literally in the middle of a hallway. So which ship should you choose? So if you were looking at coming on a Meraviglia class or maybe a Sea Class, choose the Meraviglia class if you are more into cooler climates. If you are cruising somewhere cold, you're going to want a Meraviglia class. If you're someone who prioritizes the indoor, you want more shade options, Meraviglia is again going to be for you. And I think that it's honestly a more relaxing vibe, not even taking the weekend factor into account, but I think just because of the setup here, it's going to be a more relaxing vibe. And you're going to have, somebody who appreciates a slower style of a vacation. You're going to want to choose the Sea Class if you're somebody who's really seeking a winter escape, or you just want to be in the heat. This ship is going to intentionally force you outside. So if you want to make sure you're getting the best ocean views, you're getting the best water views, you're getting the best outdoor experience, the Sea Class is absolutely going to be for you. And because of that, I think it's also going to have more energy and a more South Beach kind of vibe, which is what they're going for. Now, if you've sailed either of these two classes, whatever ship it may be, let me know down in the comments what you thought about this ship. And especially if you've done both classes, how do you compare the two? Did you have the same response that I did, or maybe you like the Meraviglia better? If you've not done either one of them, or you're missing out on one, I'm going to post the two full ship walking tours right here of a Seaside, as well as the Grandiosa, so you can check them out and see for yourself what the main differences are going to be. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. Hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon. And if you want to join me on a weekend cruise, make sure you're signing up for the group cruise newsletter below.